Hello again, everybody. This is game 2 of the 3-game series where I'm playing a Doctor Strange burn team. Sorry this is going up so much later than the last one. I went out of town this weekend to celebrate Father's Day with my family. They live up north a little bit from me, so I went up and spent some time with my family, let my son see his grandparents. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys had a good Father's Day as well. So that first turn went by kind of quick. My opponent went first, and he bought another Injection Fairy Lily. Saved 2 masks so that he can PXG twice. I'm going to field a Sidekick and bolt out my Sidekick. Just like that. And let's see what I pick up here. So I've reduced the cost by 2. Then I'm going to pay 1 for a Magic Missile. That's kind of I could have re-rolled that Sidekick. It's kind of an unoptimal roll to keep that Sidekick. I'd rather have 2 masks to PXG. And then I could have Red Dragoned and paid 1 that way. It deals him a damage, and I have more ramp. I probably should have done that. My opponent forgot that he has stuff in prep, so I reminded him, and he went ahead and rolled that. So now he's going to choose what to re-roll. He's got 3 fists, a shield, and a bolt. See if he wants to do anything with those, or if he's going to re-roll them, or if he's going to keep them. He uses the 3 to pay for one of those foot ninjas, and he's going to spend those 2. It looks like he's going to buy an April. So he's putting things together pretty quickly. That foot ninja is extremely scary, especially with the allies on his team. So he is passing over to me. I PXG'd, and then I'm going to start my turn. So shaking everything up. Got a lot of shields. That's not going to help me much on this team. So I'm going to choose to re-roll 1 of them. And, or 2 of the shields I re-roll. I'm going to ping out and pay 1 for another Magic Missile. Sacrificing that Sidekick and paying a bolt. Then I'm going to Red Dragon and pay 1 and buy a 3rd Magic Missile.
Pass priority.
He's going to PXG 4 dice over, keeping his ramp going, and I'm going to do the same thing on his turn. So he's going to put everything in the bag. He's going to draw 4. He's going to roll 8 dice, and that is a scary proposition when you're up against a Flying Sidekick team. The more ramp that a Sidekick team has, the more characters you're going to be looking at, and the more characters you're looking at, the more damage you're going to start taking. Especially with a team like mine, where I have 1, maybe 2 characters out on the field, and they're going to be dealing the brunt of my damage. I need to make sure that I'm fielding Sidekicks. If I'm not fielding Sidekicks to take some of the damage and just to chump block some of those characters, then I'm going to have some issues later down the road. So he's going to ping out his his April, and he's going to pay 1 to buy a Falcon. He's going to pay 3 to buy an Angel. I'll PXG, and he will hit me for 1 damage.
Nothing in bag.
I reload my bag, and I'm drawing 4. I end up with all 3 Magic Missiles again. It's the 2nd game in a row that I've pulled all 3. So I have 4 energy on those Magic Missiles and 1 bolt. I'm going to re-roll one of those bolts, but it comes back up as a bolt. And by bolt, I mean burst phase.
2, 4, 5, 6.
I pay 6 to buy a Doctor Strange. And then I'm going to hit him for 2. So I have no other use for that as his field is open. So I'm in an interesting situation because I have a shield and a fist, and I don't have any characters on my side that I can purchase with a shield and a fist only. I'd have to include one of those question mark dice, and if I do that, then I lower my ability to ramp to PXG when everything cycles down into my used pile. So the question is, do I buy something that's worth 3, or do I save the 2 question marks and PXG them over later? So I pass over to him. He's going to PXG twice. And I'm going to end my turn, and I'm going to let those 2 energy that I talked about earlier, those are going to burn at the end of his turn, meaning I'm not going to have access to moving them, which means I'll only have 3 dice over in the prep area. So let's go ahead and see what he pulls. He pulls one of those foot ninjas, or he pulls a foot ninja. He hasn't bought any others yet. Probably should, though. Pulls 1 foot ninja, and he pulls 1 injection fairy lily. Puts everything together and goes ahead and rolls. Comes up with, all 3 characters. All 3 of those are characters, and that's going to hurt a ton, because I have an open board. I need to use my masks to PXG. I could use them to maybe magic missile something out, but that puts me so far behind if I don't use them for ramping. Oh, and even worse, he adds a sidekick to it. And so that foot ninja is going to get a +1/+1 for every sidekick in the field. So he puts that foot ninja out. He's going to put out that April, which is going to give one of his sidekicks +1, and that ally ability on the foot ninja counts. And then the foot ninja also gets a +1/+1 from each of those sidekicks, and that ally April ability counts. So that foot ninja is very buff. So he's going to pass over to me here. But let's see, he might buy something first. It looks like he is going to do that. He's going to pay 2 fists and a mask to buy a falcon.
Pass priority.
He passes over to me, and I'm going to PXG. As I said before, I'm only going to be able to PXG over 3 dice. Those other 2 are just going to sit worthlessly.
1, 2, 3.
And then we'll calculate damage because he pushes in with everything. So that foot ninja is going to get a buff from April and going to get a buff from the other 2 sidekicks in the field, and I will end up taking 9. Nice thing about that, though, is all those characters are now unused, which means he's going to have to put them back into his bag and draw them and roll them. So that gives me a couple of minutes or a couple of turns to try and put together something. What I really need is for my Doctor Strange to come out and land, because then I have a blocker at least. This helps. So I ended up with 2 sidekicks. I don't really need the magic missile on its burst face, because if it's on its burst face, then I just deal 2 damage. This way I can actually buy something. But if you take a look, I'm actually kind of in a conundrum here as well, because if I spend 3, then I can buy a character, which is what I need. But then I'm left with that shield again. That's not going to do any good. Not going to do me any good at all. He's going to PXG 4 over, and I'm going to end my turn. So again, that shield is going to sit and burn. It's not going to do anything on his turn. I can't use it. Neither of us have shield globals. So I will only be able to PXG over 2 dice. So my ramp is severely suffering from a couple of bad, I guess bad buys. The other option here was for me to spend 4 energy, including that shield, to purchase one of those prismatic sprays, but that doesn't help against the team that he's running. It only allows me to move over more dice. What I really need is to hope for bad rolls and try and put together enough of a board presence to keep him from swinging out every turn. So he fields the sidekick and the angel. The angel's giving the sidekick +1/+1, which makes it +2/+2. He's going to buy another foot ninja, which is a great idea for him, but a terrible series of events for me, because that thing is going to get really huge. Then he is not going to attack, which is good for me. That's because I have those 2 sidekicks out, so I'd be able to chump block anything he's got coming my way. And here's a big opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to both roll Doctor Strange and to keep that magic missile and start chipping away at his health. So I have the Doctor Strange, or excuse me, I have the magic missile, but I don't have the Doctor Strange. The question is, what do I re-roll with that? The goal is to maximize my possibilities if I don't roll Doctor Strange. Let's see what happens. And I don't roll Doctor Strange, which is very, very bad. And again, I don't have Parallax Global on this team, so I can't choose to just pay an energy and re-roll him. Which would actually be a great addition to this team, seeing as that character is a linchpin, and if he doesn't come out, then I have to wait all this time for him to come back. So I spend 2. I pick up a potion. The potion's ability won't do me much good, but at least it's a 2-cost buy, and if I do somehow get back to Doctor Strange, then I will have some fuel to start dealing direct damage. He's going to PXG over, which is great for him. He moves 6 dice over. That last turn, I used the magic missile to ping out his sidekick, which was 2/2, rather than the angel.
Done things a little differently and KO'd that guy, but I figure he's fueling the people that are around him, so why not just take those out?
So he draws 4 characters.
That's scary.
He's gonna roll a ton of stuff. So I am in a bad spot if those come up as characters, and 2 of them do. And not only that, there's also a sidekick. Throw in the fact that there's an angel already in the field, and if either of those other characters roll character faces, then I am all but dead. I think he's got the 1/4/3 side of the Falcon, and he's got the 0/1/3 side of the Injection Fairy Lily, and of course those other 2 come up as characters. And so all I have to hope for is that he forgets that he has lethal or something like that, because he has got me dead to rights. So he's going to place everything in the field. He's going to pay 2 energy to field both of those 4/3 Falcons. Field the Ejection Fairy Lily. Field that sidekick, which is now +2/+2. Field the April, which is going to give something one of those sidekicks +1, which there's only one eligible target for that, unless he wanted to buff one of my sidekicks. Not sure if that's an ability or a possibility. I can't remember if it says friendly or if it says just a sidekick. Either way, it doesn't matter. I PXG'd over a couple of things, but it's all futile, because even if I block his 2 strongest characters, he's still going to be able to swing in with the rest of it and pump the sidekick with anger issues. So that's the end of game 2. He takes me down, and we are both 1-1. So we will find out who will win this series on this next game. Will I be able to set up quickly enough and stave off his attacks, or will he win it? Let's find out.